routine.
That's right. Chiroguys here again, talking today about tidying up your morning routine. We got 7 points for you.
Mickey Mantle.
That was awesome. All right, so this one is interesting because in my world, I always talk about this. When in chiropractic, we got to take care of so many that are 90 plus. Can you believe that? It's the people out there that don't do the chiropractic thing. You cannot believe that we take care of all these 90 plussers that come in and get adjusted. The thing that was always amazing to me is like, what's your secret? How are you driving through the snow of Michigan, you know, and getting it adjusted?
When there's 20-year-olds whining.
Yeah, or they don't, yeah, those kind of things. Well, most
I apologize to all 20-year-olds watching.
Yeah.
You're all fantastic. We love you.
Yeah.
And subscribe.
We're sorry, YouTube. That's awesome. So but what happens a lot of times is they have daily routines that they do, and they don't leave the house until this stuff is done. And that was what was fascinating. Almost 98% of them would rather do these morning routines than start another part of their day. Us, on the other hand, with, you have children, family, work, all these other things, the last thing you're going to do is the morning routine that gets your body ready for the day, right? So that's what we're talking about today.
So it's actually kind of funny you said what you led into that. I feel like we're like Willard Scott and, the Smucker's 100-year-old club is what we're talking about now.
What the hell are you talking about? Well, you said you drink beer, you eat bacon, and you smoke cigarettes, and you outlive most of the experts. Yeah? I thought maybe there's a moral.
No, there ain't no moral. I just like that story. That's all.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We kind of are, but
but you got to start this way in your 20s, people.
Yeah, well,
That's
the reality is, I mean, my 12-year-old's got a morning routine. Now, we kind of kick him in the rear end to make it happen.
Yeah.
But he's got a morning routine. We already have a routine.
Yeah.
But if you have more consistency to it, you have more success.
Yeah.
But before we get into our 7 points, we are going to now say the most important thing. And it actually comes from Stephen Covey's book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
This is awesome.
And point number 2, begin with the end in mind.
Right.
And so the most important thing to having a healthy morning routine is get a good night's sleep.
Yep.
We're going to have a video talking about that as well, too. But right now, just recognize you get yourself a good night's sleep, and there is more effective ways to hopefully make that realistic. You're going to start that plan for the day much, much better.
Right, exactly. Are you going to go right to bed after you've watched like a Game of Thrones or something like that? So are you going to go to bed like that? With this brain going at 100 miles an hour. That's really what we're talking about. It's like once your day is done, you have to get ready for that next day. And that's what will really set you apart in those kind of things.
All right, he just gave you a teaser on what the healthy night looks. So you're getting no more.
That's right.
We're staying on track because that's what we're known for.
Because we are. I forgot about the squirrel. The squirrel came up.
Well,
that's right.
It's the wood wall.
That's right.
Squirrels
the
like wood.
Wall.
Yes.
Crumbling back there.
All right. So
right.
I already kind of accidentally, inadvertently myself said the first one, and that's start with a plan.
Start with a plan.
And so actually, when you go to bed, I already know what the morning routine looks like when you wake up.
Yep.
That's a pretty smart idea to start there.
One of the bigger tricks to that too is start with a plan. Do not beat yourself up over not fulfilling the plan the next day, if that makes sense. So where if you don't get it done, that's okay. It's the idea that you started with a plan, and then every day you can keep adding to that. So
and of course you can tweak it all the time.
Exactly.
So, but something that's essential is when you're sleeping.
Yeah.
Are you often drinking water and?
When I'm sleeping?
Yeah.
No.
That'd be weird,
no.
right?
Yeah. It would be.
So, our bodies are 70% water. Different organs, different percentages, but our body roughly is 70% water.
Right.
And so, one of the very, very important things to do is actually to rehydrate.
Exactly.
It's as soon as you get up, get a nice glass of water, get a water bottle. I don't care, however you get the water, just get some water.
Because would you take a pixie stick, those little sugary sticks, and then send it into your kid's mouth before bed? Would you do that?
No. My dad was a dentist too.
Oh yeah,
Another reason.
True.
I got
There's a couple
motivation.
of them. Well, the reason you wouldn't drink a pop right? Because that's what that is. So that's a bad idea. So like switch it. Try the Pixie Stick one day instead of the Coke, and then see what happens. You wonder why that sleeping thing is harder. You can't put that much sugary energy stuff into your body prior to you trying to go to sleep. So we got to get out of that habit, and water is a good way to not do that. So.
But just naturally, upon waking, just have a glass of water. You've actually dehydrated overnight. Upon waking, get a glass of water.
Exactly.
It's a great step in the right direction. And then one that my cat does very naturally.
Yeah. This is one of our favorites, actually. Yes. And the stretch can look exactly like what the cat does.
Yeah.
It can. That's how I'd start.
That's why there's yoga poses called cats and cows.
Cats,
right?
Cobras and stuff.
Yeah.
So all
I don't
those
have
different
a cobra. I don't have one of those.
True. That's right. So yeah. So when you stretch, just start with something like that. Like copy the animal that you have, or watch a bunch of videos on the animals, but watch them get up in the morning. Right?
In a great program that we actually have shared in the past, which is just our patients here, is a great program called Rise and Spine. Yeah. And we'll have a link here for you as well. If you want to check that out, it's great. But the reality is it's a great program, but like you said, just moving, think of it this way, as I'm not Captain Car Guy here,
right?
But we all understand that when we turn the car off, the oil kind of goes back to the pan, right?
Right.
And then when we turn the engine on, the oil starts shooting around and doing whatever oil does, and I don't really know.
Oh, this is a good analogy, though.
So, but here's the thing: is you and we are stagnant like the car in the garage, and then we all of a sudden go, "Let's do something," and the oil's not not the best analogy, but the oil's not around. It's not ready to move yet. So if we're turning the engine back on, we don't want to just go 0 to 60. We want to go, let's get moving a little bit. Let's just loosen things up a little bit. You'd be amazed how much better you're going to feel throughout the day just by doing a little stretching first thing.
It's huge. It's huge. Probably one of the number one reasons of injury that we see is not preparing yourself to go into your day, and then you decide to jump on the trampoline with the kids. Not a great idea if you haven't done anything up to that point. If you're on a couch, that's where that oil comes in huge. So, I like this one.
Well, if you look, you'll probably see it linked to this video as well too. But we talked about healthy meal prep in a previous video, right?
Yep. Our last one.
And so that flows into this thought as well too. Because what else do we need to prep the night before?
We need to prep our breakfast so it's just ready to go. So it doesn't take time and it's good and those kind of
there's steel cut oats, or I call them slow oats. They're a great thing because you can make a big batch and you can siphon them off and just already have them ready. What often happens, it happened to me this morning. I slept in a little bit later, and when you do that, you might not be as diligent about getting the best breakfast. You might go Pop-Tart, frosted Pop-Tart, and Coca-Cola.
On the way.
But if you already know when you go to bed what you're going to be having the next morning, you're more likely going to have a better meal.
Exactly. And going into that meal prep video that we talked about, you'll have it ready. It'll just be on your counter or in the fridge or wherever it's going to be.
And boom.
It'll just be like boom, and even if that sleeping in part happens, because it's gonna, it does to everybody, so that's the hardest part. Oh.
So we got another one here that's actually, that one links to something else, but this one does too, and it's something very, very simple. It's just breathing. We do it all the time, but we don't realize how much we hyperventilate. We're taking short little breaths like we're in Lamaze class together, and
and the more stuff we do in a day, the worse that gets. So a lot of times, just taking as big a breath with your belly and chest as you can, and taking a few seconds and letting it all out. There's tons of stuff we'll be able to do on this in the future too.
You'll see a video link to that. We're going to actually give you 3 different ways to do some breathing exercises as well. So just look for that attached here too.
I'll even throw in Dr. Andrew Weil has some good videos on just different styles of it too. WEIL. I'll put that in there as well, just as a link to show them a little bit.
And I'm thinking he needs to hook us up with something now. I don't know what, but I'll take it.
I'll take some books.
Yeah, books would be good.
He's got a cool beard.
Yes,
that he wears.
But
sometimes.
I prefer my hairstyle. So another one is people. There's lots of health benefits to working out first thing in the morning. But here's the thing, and this is really important, is there are some crazies that can work out every single morning. And my goodness, I would love that kind of dedication.
That'd be awesome.
But the thing is maybe you're not that person.
Right.
But if you say, you know, I'll decide in the morning if I'm going to work out or not, guess what your choice is probably going to be?
Yeah, exactly. If you wait on the day to say, I'm going to try to get there, try to get there is not going to happen.
Yeah.
I hate to be this
But
way.
if the night before you lay out the workout clothes, you do whatever you got to do, you get the water bottle ready, I don't care what it is.
Yep.
But if you say, okay, Wednesday morning, I'm going to the gym, guess what you're probably going to do if you actually have the clothes laid out, if you're prepped, if you're ready, if when you go to bed, you commit to that, the odds of you actually going are a lot better.
Wow, yeah, that's true.
All right, so we talked about the importance of exercise, and we want to get that exercise first thing in the morning. We got our 7th point. What is our 7th point?
This one's interesting. It's meditate and pray, or pray, whichever one fits your wheelhouse.
It's sometimes it's just a matter of wording for some
Wording.
people.
Yep, exactly. You know? So what does that mean?
Yeah, you know, what it really means, you can go into a whole different thing about what meditation, prayer, and all these things, but it really means slow down, step away from the chaos.
Yep.
And focus on something else, not the chaos.
Right.
That's what meditate, pray means.
It is.
And you know, if we're saying we're restarting or, you know, getting a healthy morning here,
right,
we're kind of hitting the reset button and going, do you want to start the morning in hustle bustle, or do you want to start the morning and go,
right,
all right, what do I got ahead of me?
Right. There's a link below for that Rise and Spine that we talked about, and in one of them it shows kind of a really good way. I'm gonna do it again, but Wayne Dyer had this great meditation practice where you actually were looking at a word like love or something, and you actually kept visualizing it come to you, and so that word kept coming closer and closer and closer, and then you went through it, and then it was to kind of help your brain go into blank space.
Yeah. And
you're not going to do this if you haven't done it for a long time, you're not going to do this for very many minutes. However, it's so big to try it, you know, as you go every single morning to just kind of clear everything out. I tell people when I did it, I do it 10 minutes to 20 every morning. I've never been this efficient in my life. Now it's just part of what happens. It's like you get a different gear set when you come into work, like the next time, or you're actually more efficient, it seems like. So that's what I enjoy about it. All of a sudden I'm like, man, I'm getting more stuff done than in one day that I did in a week. Like, how did that, just base it on a mental practice like that.
But it's slowing down.
Yeah.
You know, we're all busy people. We all, frankly, don't have time for anything.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how when you slow down, you actually create more time somehow. And we can tell you from firsthand experience.
Yeah. It's when somebody comes in and they're hurting, like before they got an acute injury of some sort. If we can get both of us, the person that's hurting and us, to just take that step back, a lot of times you can take a better decision or a better treatment, and you know, those kind of things. So it's a huge deal. It's a huge deal to put this in there. So we want to push that one.
So those are our 7 ways of tidying up our morning routine.
Yes, thank you for enjoying this video with us.
Share, subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe, and then at the bottom there's a free guide if you'd like to for trigger point work. It's underneath this video as well. Thanks.